What? What are you doing here? I hope it's for Karandrin role playing because that's what we're doing right now. That's right. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Cracked Palantir. I am your host and game master for this episode 79 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful Paladin Brise out in the wilderness. Max, say hello to our lovely people.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the episode where I'm on the left and Kevin's on the right.
Oh, no!
And there's nothing in the middle.
Dang it, we did forget. You were joking.
I noticed as the countdown was going on. I'm like,
that is hilarious. There. For all of you.
Behind the scenes of how we get all that.
That's right. Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, jeez.
What we should do is, as you get closer to death, I move you closer to me. And that's death. That's when your character dies.
The left side of the screen.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. I hope everyone's doing good tonight. We're having some colder where we are, but Karandrin will warm us to our hearts.
That's right. We are warmed by the adventure. That's the main thing.
Exactly.
Man, I'm trying to find your caption. I can't find your caption that I put up at the beginning. Here we go.
Everything's mixed up.
I know. I moved it to the right. Last episode was a bit of an oddball.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Karen said, "Oh my gosh, you were switched and I couldn't handle it." That's funny.
We couldn't handle it either. We're quaking in our boots.
That's right.
Yeah, no. It was, last episode, we, if I recall, we tried doing a bit of spying, some information gathering on an individual named Brashla, who's affiliated with Anleb the winemaker, and possibly this cult that is worshiping what we think is the Iron Empress, an ancient evil-ish kind of deity, or at least religious figure. So found out some info about Brashla, where they live. Then we hung around and we tried to go out west of town of Balabry here, and tried to spot some eagles, some great eagles, so we could arrange a meeting between them and the goblin. Was it the captain of the gate? I think his name was gate guard captain. Some title at Miagral Keep, and try to arrange a meeting between him and the eagles. But we came across interesting creatures, antlered women in very nice clothing, who was being attacked by some ooze, black kind of ooze creature, and kind of took care of that and nursed them back to health. Well, let them sleep basically by a fire. And
she sort of attached to her and was sort of
that's right. And had like tendrils, and when it also communicated with my mind when I touched it. No idea what this weird ooze is. But yeah, when she woke up, then she didn't really have a good way to communicate with me. Language didn't seem to be a concept, she understood, although she was able to write some messages to me, and then she took off through a strange portal, using her staff that grew into a tree, turned into a one-use portal that she climbed through and disappeared. So it's very very like transient kind of experience. I don't think I'm ever going to see that again, possibly.
Yeah, it's who knows? I mean, you start asking around, and we make enough rolls, if someone else has come across her or done any research on her, or that people, who knows how it could shake out.
Right.
So it's early evening, as you said, and
already had dinner, and we're gonna head back to the keep, really, and probably continue our research on the 9 stars, these locations of magical power that is very core to my faith that I'm concerned about. So.
Right. Because you're a member of your own cult. And here we don't use cult in the typical role playing way to mean this group of evil people. We use it sort of more in very much more in the sociological way, which is to say that it is simply a minority religion that is hidden because it is persecuted.
I can
And
be
so,
evil if you want me to, Kevin. I can
I mean, I think you're pretty
throw my
close.
spirit and peasants and do all sorts of.
That's it. Yeah, just start killing people, man. It's fine. Instead of doing what you typically do, which is just die a lot. So
Just
uh,
attempt to kill people. And then
that's
die.
right. Um, um,
Yes,
so
we have a little campsite here, and I'm going to start, striking that, and I've got my horse here. And,
I will say that you will be a ripe target for thieves on the road at night.
I see. So it might be better
Um,
to do maybe disguise camp and then just wait till morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just so that you don't have to travel a few hours in the dark against thieves who have no problem seeing in the dark.
Right,
And
goblins. Yeah.
right, and although they can see normally, right, totally normally in absolute black, you would have to carry a lantern, and that lantern would improve. They would see that even further away.
Right.
Um, the little great role playing fact. Well, a fact that's great to know for role playing is the human eye can see a lit match 2 miles away in the dark.
Unfortunately, they can't see who's holding the match.
Well, no, probably not.
Right,
But
that pinprick of light, someone's there or some.
right,
Yeah.
they set up, they approach, and they can approach at speed, right? Because they can see perfectly well their environment. Um, so let's give me your 3 rolls here.
Yes, we've got 79, 28, and 42. We also, for everyone should remember, I'm suffering from a curse right now. Not COVID; it's an actual curse. A little sickly and a little down. Probably a bit of penalty.
And
So,
a little a little worried about rising from the dead because that's what
right,
this curse will do is
the other side effects. Yeah.
greatly increases his chances or her chances of rising as an undead. Um,
Do I have a stat for if I rise as undead or not? You're right here. Zombification. It says
that's it.
that's
That's it.
fantastic. Very
Um,
likely chance on top of the curse that will revive as a zombie. And the rest of the night.
so at some point in the night, um, you have your horse with you, or did you walk?
I have my horse. Yeah.
Okay. You wake. It's still dark. You can hear your horse moving and whinnying a little bit,
Trying to sleep.
plaintively. Something has clearly bothered your horse.
More like Quinn's comment here. Zombreese's tail.
Coming soon.
Very soon. Okay.
Uh,
Something is afoot, possibly. Let's see. I will. So I'd be, in my bedroll. I guess I would have, not slept in armor or anything, but I
no.
would have my weapons nearby. I'll grab my spear quietly and, scan the surroundings. Let's see
Well,
anything.
yes, presumably you're in the tent, and your tent
Oh,
door is.
right. So I will peek outside the tent flap and see what's going on out there.
Full moon tonight, so that is good. The horse is pulling against its rope as though whatever the problem is, whatever's got it disturbed, is coming from directly behind the tent, so directly behind you.
Mm.
What would you like to do?
Mm. I would have to. If I go inside the tent, then I can have try to maybe armor up. How long does that take? Just like a minute.
I mean, you wear. Oh, what you wear?
Just breastplate, right? That
The
shouldn't take.
problem is the noise. Does take several rounds to get into, but because it's hard leather, it tends to clatter.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So then I think we'll grab my spear and target shield and just unarmored creep out of the tent. So if something's behind the tent, right, I want to creep out so I'm kind of hidden by the tent from its view.
Right. So basically, peek over the tent. Basically,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely something disturbing the brush between you and the road.
Hmm.
Large. Roll for me.
41.
It smells.
Okay. We can have Nolani. I'm not sure if Nolani is awake or if I can
She can
wake
be
her
made
with
awake.
connection. Yeah, my familiar here.
She comes to. Um, and send her over that way.
Yeah.
She clearly begrudgingly goes. It is definitively an ogre.
Oh man, ogres are always creeping out my campsite. It's like the third time, I swear. Mm.
It is in the brush. Um, the you get sensations through Nalani, um, sometimes unbidden. And
Mhm.
one of the things that you find is that she's flying against the wind fairly low.
Mm.
And then you thought, oh, so he can't smell us.
Oh, because the wind is right.
It's right. So we're downwind from him.
Mm.
Um, he or she, I I don't want to
An
offend the
ogress.
ogre fans, but um, shoot, where's my stuff? Dang it! Dang! All right, hang on. Oh God! Oh sweet Jesus! Um, so roll for me.
7.
Well,
Nice.
there's no surprise there. So has a club. Um, is lightly armored, probably just sort of coarse animal skins kind of layered and sewn together. Um, Seems to be moving very gingerly and sort of shoving huge mounds of brush out of his way, which
Mhm.
is not the stealthiest approach, of course. Clearly, the horse smelled him also, which is why he's disturbed. Other
Right.
things hang at his belt. Hard to tell through the, from above with him sort of crouched. It's hard to tell what those are. He may be waiting for game to ambush game coming
Yeah.
across the road. But what would you like to do?
Well, he's moving, right?
Yeah, he's sort of crouched and like moving a little bit, like sort of how you sort of waddle
Oh, I
as
see. I see. Yeah, he's
a
not.
crouch walk.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I could just try to let him be on his way.
Right.
Best option, especially if he's going more towards the road. Along it. Hmm. But I'm thinking, should I prepare anything in case he attacks here? Could just do disguise. So I forgot to cast disguise camp.
All
When
right,
I
we didn't.
mentioned. So I could do that
But
now.
no, we'll assume because that's my fault for not
Okay.
going back to
Yeah.
it. So we'll assume you did that.
Okay.
Um,
So given that I've already cast that, I'm going to be like, we'll wait until this guy, notices us before I try anything rash. So
right. You
so,
might sneak out and sneak back into the tent and get your bolas,
yeah, we'll do
and that
that.
way, because you've got. I mean, if he charges, he'll be there in a round. He'll be, so you might get one shot off on him before he even gets there.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
bolas could trip him up. That's the great thing. And then,
Right.
um,
Maybe some more shots at him. So
yeah,
okay, we'll sneak back into the tent.
just give
And
me a basic roll there.
okay,
Just don't roll.
7 again. Lucky sevens. 7. Let's roll a third one. 49. Well, wait, 7 times 7 is 49. Woo!
Freak. You're a freak.
That's it. That's it. You've done it.
The wind must be in his ears, and of course, all that brush. He doesn't change behavior.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
I like to think that Brise, like rolling a 7, is basically her like, oh, 7 to 7, 49. She says out loud, like,
that's right. That's what brings him. Yeah, that's you found the one ogre who enjoys basic math. Way to go.
did someone say? Okay, so yeah, go into the tent, grab my bolas. Again, just no armor and stay hidden out of his line of sight, but able to peek and see what he's doing through
I
the
mean,
line.
do you want to distance the horse?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Make some noise. We could also just try embolden steed.
Oh, there you go.
Plus 25 to RR versus fear, plus 10 to other RRs. So it might calm him down.
Yes.
Actually, I think I have calm as well. I should just try that calm spell. And I have that memorized too. So let's do that. Try to cast calm on my horse. A level 3 spell.
Okay.
Using my power points here. Whisper that. That's a 12. Okay.
Well,
This ogre really wants to find me, even though he doesn't know I'm here.
You take 12 damage.
Okay.
You lose 9 exhaustion and 9 power points.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, the real problem is the flash of light.
Right.
That doesn't normally occur when you cast it correctly.
Not usually occur. That's correct. I can just, because you'll see the tent, he looks this way.
He rises, according to Nalani, who's circling overhead. Quinn is cracking me up tonight. He rises and turns toward you guys clearly, and he's moving brush to see, but apparently sees nothing of interest.
All right. All right. Disguise.
And he looks up in the air. Doesn't seem to take note of Nalani. He holds his hand out and looks up. So he thought it was lightning.
Yeah.
He's wondering about rain.
Oh, if he wants lightning, I'll give him a call. That was my next action if he started noticing us. So okay, well.
So yeah, he returns to sort of setting up his ambush or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, the more disturbing thought would be he's waiting to ambush people on the road. But that's
Right.
and if that is your concern, then you have a question
Yeah.
of clearing him out or not.
So the other question then is I wasn't planning to take this guy on, but because I know Brise doesn't always resort to violence first thing, but do I think I could take an ogre? I'm not quite sure in terms of
I think that's an accurate feeling from Brees that you're not quite
yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'm not quite sure. I've seen quite a few of them, but I've never really gone hand to hand with
Head to head.
head to head or hand to hand or knee to knee, any body parts really.
That's right. Genitals to genitals, although they are sexy.
So you know what I think we're just gonna still play it safe, and he's thinking about rain. I can do call fog and kind of put my whole campsite, including him, in a fog. So hopefully he'll wander out of the fog, right, further away from campsite. So
Well, and he may just give up right on his
right,
ambush
true, yeah. If
because you
it's
just can't
foggy,
see crap. Do you want to finish calming the horse?
yes. Let's try to cast calm. Well, actually, let's just go over there and calm him down. Let's sneak over there. I think I have a better chance of sneaking over there than
Roll again.
calming.
Sneak.
23. Okay.
You make
Well, I have.
some
I mean,
noise.
I have a ring that helps me, but yeah, make some.
Again, the ogre, with the brush and with some breeze, he can't really. He's not really paying attention, and you didn't make that much noise. You know. Um,
Move over to my horse and just give him a couple pets.
Roll to calm your animal.
67.
Decent job. You could definitely mount the horse now if you wanted to, whereas before it would just be dangerous. What would you like to do?
Now I'll try a call fog. And, so I got to go pull out the tome, Nature's Law, from my tent.
Okay. Sneak on back.
Sneakily.
Just don't roll super low.
24.
No problem.
And yeah, we'll pull out the tome and again center it on the campsite and try to envelop him in a little bit, but only at the edge if I can.
So you bring it out to the moonlight because you have to read.
Yeah.
And you roll to go ahead and roll to cast that bad boy.
46.
No problem.
Cool. And that should last for 10 minutes. So.
Right.
Fortunately, now I've obscured Nalani's view of him too, so I'll just have to try to listen to see if he moves further away.
Her vision is still pretty good, and of course the fog isn't, impenetrable.
Dense, yeah, dense.
And she's used to such things, right? She's used to fog, and
Sure.
not that you would know the word evolved, but she's an evolved being.
I suppose the ogre.
That's right. That's right. The Yeah, the ogre's confused by the fog.
Hopefully, he's not smart enough to know it's magic. That was my thought as I called it. I'm like, it is instant fog. I'm like, I'm not sure if that would make him more suspicious. Or,
Right.
yeah.
He seems intent. He must be hungry. And it's 3 a.m., so he must be lonely. Um,
Oh boy, 3 a.m. This so far this whole session has just been me trying to drive off an ogre and
well, but
hide from him.
this is sort of the element of Karandrin, right? I mean,
Yeah,
these
no,
things
I mean,
come and interrupt you, and you just kind of have to deal with them.
I'm getting pretty flustered now.
You may just have to sit and wait. Maybe there's no action to take
I know,
every.
I
You
know,
know,
and I am impatient, but let's see how long I can
roll
outwait
it up.
this zone game. 60.
All right, you wait several minutes, and now you're bouncing your foot and you're going nuts. Um,
Mm-mm-mm.
that wind hasn't changed.
Well, here's I. We can try to call lightning, and either I strike him with lightning, and maybe that'll kill him, or he gets freaked out and runs away. So
That's funny because he's already thinking about lightning.
right. That's what made me
That is
think about
so
like
funny. He's like, man, the weather today is shitty. I don't
flying.
know.
So that's again nature's law. So still have the tome, by me. I would think. Just pull that open and try to cast it. 10th level here.
Oh yeah. All right.
It is 50 foot around a level. Wow, I can cast that from 500 feet away. Goodness, that's pretty great.
Yeah, but you got to be able to see.
Well, right.
Yeah, yeah, you got to see your target, which is kind of interesting. You could hit buildings with it pretty easily, like just to cause havoc. That's kind of
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. So,
All right.
okay. 3, 2, 1. 62.
All right. Wow, that's painful, is what that is.
I just want to hear him say, not again.
That's right.
Oh, man.
The Iron Empress is punishing me. You're like, the what now?
Excuse.
All right, roll your critical.
Okay. It's a 58.
And then roll your second critical.
98. Woo!
Oh my gosh. Oh, you probably need to pull Nalani away somewhat. That lightning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
So you
absolutely.
pull her back somewhat. It streaks down. It strikes him between the shoulder and the neck.
Wow.
And I mean, it just lights that whole area up. Um, there are some small fires going among the brush. And um, he collapses into the brush. Nalani has lost sight of him. Be a good time to cancel the fog, which is starting to blow this way anyway. I mean, it's because of that breeze that's coming from his area, his direction. What would you like to do? You want to cancel it?
Dismiss the fog, and I got to make sure this guy's done. So I'm going to run over with my spear and, give him
Magic helmet.
yeah.
And you run over there. And then so slow your roll when you get closer. Fires are still going. but they're small.
Okay.
He is not moving.
Wow. I guess I can take an ogre with by
That's right.
surprise and lightning.
Yeah, that was that worked out all right.
Yeah, 98 critical. I don't think anything's going to survive that.
Right.
Woo.
Wow. Yeah, crazy. So he's he's dead. You see that he's got burns to his shoulder, side, and his throat.
Oh my gosh.
Um, roll to put out these little fires.
93.
No problem. If you cut some burning limbs down and and just throw them onto the road where they can burn themselves out, and the ones on the ground you just stamp out. Um, um, you want to search his body uh,
Yeah.
overly thoroughly.
Yes. As thorough as possible. Now I'm not going to be able to turn him over. If he has something on his belt. However, he fell is probably how he's.
You've got a spear that you can
Yeah,
use
yeah.
as a lever. Um, so you find 51 silver on him. Whoa. And you find 4 gems. Um, they are value A. Just so that's the chart I need to roll on.
Hmm. Good cause of death: throat punched by lightning in the midnight. I'm glad people found that entertaining. It's a good call.
And I'll quickly roll up one item of interest that he has. Let's just see what it is. Does have something on him. Oh, daggone it. This is what I get for not having my thing.
Carrying around.
What now?
You didn't think I could kill him, did you? You didn't have any of the treasure rolled up. Really, he will get eaten.
Well, I didn't know that necessarily you would fight him or let him go.
Right.
So, or evade him, I guess is the term I'm using.
I guess I could have purposely aimed the lightning away from him. Now that I think about it.
Well, I mean, it's fine, right? You've made the area safer, which makes you feel good.
Less ogres is always good.
And you sort of, you know that you're sort of now sort of in service to Miagrol, and so therefore killing things in her reign, which begs the question of: do you take a hand, the ogre's hand, or you take the ogre's an emblem of the ogre, a trophy of the ogre, and say,
that's a great idea. Actually, I would probably definitely do that. Prove my loyalty somewhere.
So it's a visored helm that he's got in a coarse bag with the coins. It is, wow, it's decent. Plus 15 substance. Wow, this is a really nice helm. Plus 10 magic.
Wow.
That's a nice helmet.
Could have been wearing that. It would fit him, I suppose.
Yeah, visored helms are your sort of classic knight helm with the vent that goes down. And the great thing about that, like it provides the most protection. It protects the most things. It protects your ears from there are ear criticals. If a critical says it takes off your ear, if you have this helm, you get to roll and see if it doesn't pierce the helm. It protects against the eyes as long as you have the visor down, but it's also the worst on your perception. Like it's really tough to see.
All you can hear is your own breathing.
That's right. That's right. Well, there you go. That's a nice.
It's pretty good
Bit of treasure. So
Yeah, let's try to lop off. I guess like you said, his hand's probably the best thing. It's clearly an ogre hand, and it's not hard to
You
carry
got an
around.
empty bag. You're going to wrap that bad boy in.
Oh, yeah, empty bag. I'm going to later dispose of.
Exactly. So cut it off, and probably hang it on a tree. Just let it drip through the morning. Um, what would you like to do?
Well, I'll just check on my horse one more time, make sure he's doing okay, and I'll see if I can get back to sleep. Hopefully, the smell's not too bad.
Yeah, you're hoping the wind will change. The horse is still, of course, disturbed by the smell of the ogre, which is going to be there until the ogre, just completely rots away.
Right.
All 400 pounds of him. Um, so you move the horse away from camp
Yeah.
just so it's out of direct line from the wind. Seems to help. You're a little uncomfortable having him that far away, but especially as it was a useful alarm system.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you curl back up, you go to sleep. Actually, roll for sleep because you've been quite disturbed.
Yeah, it's pretty active. 11.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough day for you. You catch another hour or so, and then wake up early and grumpy, and you're like, whatever. Let's just get on the road.
How in terms of healing? Then I had 153 out of 185 for hit points.
You would be totally healed.
Okay, and then exhaustion was at 73 out of 100. Like those spells I cast. So
You would be slept an hour or so.
well, this is also before I had. I don't remember what.
So
I think it was that.
you're probably 5 short.
Okay, yeah, I was at 92 exhaustion when I went to bed. Right, then I woke up in the middle of the night, did all this stuff. So
Yeah, so I think you're just 5 short.
okay, 95.
Yeah, because you would have probably made it all the way back. So
Sounds good. Alrighty.
so you're still kind of out of sorts and so on. You feel a little mentally foggy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you penalty to mental activity, including spell casting. So just
reasoning.
yeah.
Right.
So sorry if you could hear that chime. It's my power cord slipped off.
All right.
So
yeah, we'll just eat breakfast, strike camp, and make back towards the keep. Probably going through town is the easiest way.
yeah, it's certainly the way you know.
Right.
Um,
I don't recall how far out of town I was. I think far enough, right?
you weren't too far.
Right.
You'll be. I think you're a couple hours, so it'll probably be late morning by the time you're back at the keep. So let's just have you. I'm going to roll for encounters. You roll for navigation.
All right. That's a 19 to navigate.
That is excellent. You
Oh,
realize
hi, it's Algrit. wrong.
right? You went all the way through town and didn't know it. You clearly missed a turn. You can see parts of the keep now, but you can see the roof of your old home on the keep, which puts you on the side of the mountain, as opposed to if you take the keep as the front,
Right.
you're on the side of the mountain instead of the front of the mountain. If you take my meaning, and so you somehow crossed over the road that leads to town. In doing so, you do pass a couple of farmers or farming families on the road prior to your knowledge that you're lost. Is there any interaction you need to do with them?
No, I don't think so. I might ask them about just see what I've said. The antlered creature and the black tendrils. If there's any way to word that, that won't.
Have you seen any strange folk around?
Yeah, any strange folk. We'll start off with that.
So the first one is a lone farmer. He's got a number of broken items in his in a cart. He may be taken to town um, to get repaired. Um, you wave him, you sort of, gesture for him to speak to you, and he pulls up and, it gives you a once over. He's trying to find something to insult you about, to mock you for. So you immediately do the same, and, he's got quite the large nose, and that's where you take your shot. You're like, I know you smelled me coming, but,
I can't believe you got to go in town to fix all those, man. Long day for you.
Don't have the skills? Is that
exactly.
Well, he laughs. You get him. You've obviously scored a point. He says, if you're looking for work, you're skinny enough to be a scarecrow. Are you interested? Anything? You laugh, and then you pose your question. And he says, nothing but my dogs won't stop barking. What have you seen?
I describe, what I saw in the detail I can.
Well, I don't know what they are. They don't mean no harm, though. Mm-hmm. Wow. I swear they've got a meeting place on my farm. I see them once a week or so. Huh. But my dogs don't make a peep at them. Not a peep. So I figure they, strange as they are, they must be okay. Did you describe, are you going to describe also the black?
Yeah, I'll describe that next. Yeah. Say.
Man,
other things attacking them. Oh, I see those all the time too. Also on my farm.
Well, I see those on trees mostly. I don't know nothing about them moving or whatnot. But whatever tree gets them gets sickly. I'll see those out. My boys too, when they're out hunting. We steer clear of those areas, though. They seem to get worse. Seems to spread from tree to tree. Not fast like, but where there's one, after a month or so, you'll see another. We've taken to chopping some down if they're too near the farm and then burning them.
Okay. I think I need to remember. I was using a magic knife, a magically imbued weapon to attack them. So yeah, I can't. And I guess I asked, burning them. That seems to do the trick. Then they don't come back after that.
Yeah, they don't appear. Again, like areas that we burn down, we'll go check. Not areas they burn down. A tree will burn down, and then we'll go back, check that area in a week or so. We've never seen one come back.
I said it's helpful.
He, looks at your weapons and he's like, "What are you doing here?"
I'm on my way to Mia Grall's keep. Correct. what would be the right title I should use? Right, she's my master. I serve her.
You serve her.
Yeah, I'm a servant of Lady Mirgal. Back to her keep.
He laughs and says, "Aren't we all?" Well, good luck with that. And he rides on. But he did seem, more at ease with you when, you said that I'm with Keep and that's why I've got these weapons.
Right, I should remember that. Yeah.
Because, weapons.
It's funny to think about. Like I was flying her banner, discreetly to avoid the Goblin Raiders, but I wonder what it would take to actually have some emblem of her, publicly available.
Right. And it may be, and maybe you should ask, but it does seem logical to think that you're on an official task for her. You might be given some badge of recognition, not a coat of arms exactly, although it would be her coat of arms of some sort, her family crest, something like that.
Right.
The equivalent of a letter of marque, which is that's in the Constitution, right? No letters of marque, because a letter of marque is, hey, you are now our pirate, and so when we have an enemy, it is legal for you to commit piracy against our enemies. That's what a letter of marque does.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh. And so, so it would essentially be a letter of marque in terms of the sense that, right. I am enabling you to commit crimes.
Yeah.
And I'm authorizing you to commit crimes on my behalf.
Right. We don't want to go that far, but hopefully it won't come to that. Mirgal seems to be what's the word, just in most ways. So.
Yes, although there's certainly a note of ruthlessness that you've heard about. So off he goes. The second group, do you want to question them or not?
Sure, yeah. No,
it's a family.
And we'll ask the same question, see if we get similar responses.
They seem very poor. They seem to be moving house, or they're basically living on the road. So some parents and two young kids, ragged clothes, a rather shabby looking horse. So, you consider whether you might want to thank them for their time in some way, given, of course, I don't recall I think you learned you are fairly generous, aren't you?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. As soon as you said that, I'm like, well, I'm trying to remember how much would be a good amount to give them. Probably a few.
A silver.
A silver would probably be like a couple meals for all of them.
A silver is, let me figure out the math. Silver is 100 copper. Okay. Right. And a meal is tend to be 2 to 3 copper.
Right.
But a silver is also, here's another way to look at it. A silver is also only one pair of boots.
Oh, interesting. So if they can provide food for themselves, but they really need some new equipment.
So it's just hard to say. A horse is, I forget. I think a horse is, I don't know why I can't remember the price of a horse, but
price of a horse, of course.
It just depends on what you're trying to do for them. But it's one of those things. It's like, the discussion of American poverty, it's like, well, I don't want to give them X amount of money. Well, what would that amount of money do for them? Isn't that part of the equation here?
Crazy. You can hand someone a $5 bill. That won't even give them a meal.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Go to Wendy's. It's at least like $8, if you want a combo meal.
So like 10 gold will get them a big workhorse, just to throw that out there. Not that, I just want you to have all the information.
Yeah.
So you wave them down. They're very cheery. Little kids wave. they wave, the parents wave. You realize you are approaching a family, and you do have your weapons.
I want to make sure, to have them all sheathed and show my hands.
The spear is the big problem.
Oh, right.
So you can take the spear and just stick it into the ground where you are, and then approach them.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah, I got, on my horse, I'll just take it off, stick it there, like you said, and approach them.
Um, the father in Goblin says, "You're a long way from home, Longshanks."
Well, really, last I checked, Miagal Keep is just right up the mountain, and I report to her. So,
A little bit of overkill. They all look at each other in terror.
no, it's not.
They're like, "We beg your pardon, my lady."
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then I asked them about the creature, antlered women. Well, actually, I say if you've seen anything strange around, like you said,
Man, they have.
warm it up.
Huh. Interesting. Not nearby. Very nearby. Last 2 days, we've been making our way through this valley. Um, we saw swarms of things over a ridge, and the children, like, they glance at each other, and I mean, they were clearly creeped out by it.
Yeah.
The father gets down and says, "If I may show you, my lady," and points. And he describes to you, like, you see that ridge? It's one further back. We came through a pass that worked its way between those two peaks. Seeking better land, we are hoping to find a place to settle. Dwarves seized our land. Curse them, and he spits. Whatever they were too distant to make out. Scaled, though. We could see that in the moonlight. Dozens of them. But then the next day, and I guess we should have taken that night as an omen, strange sounds in the woods all night. High-pitched cries. We didn't sleep a wink. Then I found strange hoof prints on the hunt.
Fortunate family. They come across a lot of them.
They really did. They rolled very, very high for.
What about kind of adventurers?
I've got weapons. I got a great helmet.
Strange footprints. The footprints like resemble anything clawed or.
You're gonna think me a fool, but like a deer's, but with 3 toes. But big, whatever it was.
I've seen stranger things, so I don't blame you. But you're close to town now, at least, so it should be a little safer here.
Did you write down the ogre's hand in your?
Yes, I do have that. Yeah. Sounds like a great name for an inn or an adventurers guild.
It's a massage parlor. Welcome.
If you're just really bad, right off nuts.
Can you hear that?
Yes. High pitched noises in the night.
That's
Uh-oh.
what it is. It must be a cat.
Look
That's
out the
so
window. Are
weird.
there swarms of something?
Swarms of-
Yeah, man, cats can be so loud when
That's
they're
right.
whatever.
So this valley is the valley west of the keep.
Mm,
And just to give you some things for your notes. So
right,
it's west of the keep. It's the southern end of this valley.
right.
Um, would it be untoward of me to ask if Lady Miagral is just?
Yeah, I did say that she is a just ruler, and she is resolute, and make sure you would be the right way to say it. Make sure you don't get on her bad side. Just she doesn't. She's very firm in her rulings.
Firm I can take. Fair is what I need.
Yeah.
Take your leave of them. Anything else you want to ask them?
That's all, and I'll give them 10 silver. That should be enough for some new clothing and all that stuff. So say, yeah, get fresh set of clothes and equipment in town. So welcome to County Miagral.
That's right.
To whatever it's
They're overwhelmed. He grabs your hand and kisses it, and you're a lifesaver, miss. You're a lifesaver. And
You might want to wash the ogre blood off that.
they reaches for your hand, and you slip out the ogre hand. Here you go. so they all thank you. The woman gets down and gives you a hug, and she makes the kids curtsy to you, um, and um, and they load back up, and off they go. Then you realize you're lost, and then we should probably take a break.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we're going to stretch our legs and refill our drinks. We hope you do the same and just hang out with us for a little bit longer. I'm going to repost in the chat. I'm going to repost the notes and everything. So if you want to take a look at those while we play, you can actually watch Max type when we start playing again, because he's just that fascinating a typer.
Might even give some people some shout outs,
That,
And if you can read this, you're stupid.
here's 100 Karandrin points if you can answer on what page of my notes did I call Quinn a smelly fart. So I can do our new thingy. I always forget that we have this ability. So we're going to do our
goblins.
There you go. That. So all right. So just give us a few minutes, guys. We're gonna refill our drinks and be right back with you. Thanks for watching up to now. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm going to get Max back here in just a minute, but while he's away, let's all say terrible things about him. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, here he is. Hi.
Here
Oh,
the whole time. I heard everything.
awkward.
There you go.
Uh,
I don't know. I was cleaning my glasses and looking this way, and then you said, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "Jeez!" I almost dropped my glasses.
I saw you move, but I couldn't tell what was going on.
Startled me.
Now I'm
I was
scared.
more startled than that ogre when it brought lightning down on him.
Oh, my gosh. Um,
So yeah, we are
so,
on our way back to the keep, getting lost, but also meeting some lovely families.
um, so yeah, what do you want to do?
So I mean, if I know, do I know like the wrong way I took? I'll just keep going until I find someone and they give me directions to the keep.
Well, you know at least roughly the way to head. You know,
Right. Well, yeah, we might be going a little bit of wilderness, but if we just beeline for the keep, I can't.
well,
Maybe.
you want to beeline for north of the keep to hit the town.
Right. Right.
So, okay, um, cut through the woods.
That's probably the kindest thing anyone said about me. Max is a doofus. Thank you, Midnight. Out of all the people on this stream that talk about me, that's probably the nicest thing.
um, yeah, so roll to navigate. Um,
81.
hmm, um, find a lone cottage. As you approach through the woods, you hear the chopping of wood. Um, you don't want to come upon them uh, overly unannounced, right?
Right.
Um, and so, you just sort of generally in these situations, you just,
Myself known, yeah.
yeah, just sort of call out and say, greetings or hello or, can I approach or things like that.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
That's it. That's exactly what you say.
Which is the orc language,
um, so yeah, a voice definitively a male dwarf
actually.
uh, answers back in facts. He says, I won't hear any of that goblin talk. Do you understand me? If you can, you can approach.
I'll how much I'm comfortable in Dwarven. So I'm Dwarven. I think I can say a couple like phrases, right? For
Right.
yeah. So uh, I'll try to I'll just say in Vax then. That's fine. I'm just trying to make my way to the keep.
Says, well, then show yourself. Keep coming. He
Okay.
can't see you.
Right. I'll go into him all the way till I can see him, basically.
Right. Um, so you sort of keep riding through,
Mm-hmm.
come upon a dooryard, a yard. There's a small cottage there. Um, older dwarf, beard down to his belly. Um, he has a wood axe, not a battle axe, and he's just got it propped up, and he's and Yeah, he's just watching from the direction that your voice came. You emerge. He nods and said, "I didn't think you were goblin. Voice was too pretty. What are you doing in my woods?"
Well, I'm a little bit lost trying to get servant of Lady Miagral and trying to get back to her keep. It was this general direction.
Yeah, yeah. You're headed closer to town than you are to the keep. If you keep going the way you're going.
Right. Well, town. I say town is fine too. Then I'll know exactly where I am. So.
The shortest way to the keep is toward the base of the mountain there. You'll find one of their riding trails. You're not far off. Turn parallel to my house and head that way. You'll skip the town, but it'll save you a good hour or so.
Okay. I asked how close am I to town though. It's just,
About the same.
okay. I think I'll just go there instead because I have pretty bad. I'd rather be lost in the town than lost in the woods.
If you head toward the mountain, you can't get lost. You'll hit that road. But whatever you like. The town, though, is no picnic either. Evil folk about that place.
I say evil folk.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean evil? I mean, sure, not all goblins could be that bad. I say. You mean something else?
There's a fight brewing. It's going to come to a head sooner or later. I've tried to warn the temples. I've tried to warn Miagral, but they won't listen.
I say, well, I will, and eager to hear what you have to say.
What is it you do for Miagral exactly, servant?
Well, just I guess what would be the right thing to say? It's a recent title I've gotten, but generally just ensuring her lands are safe, and she calls upon me if she needs my aid for something. But generally, I do. I describe myself, I guess, as a paladin, and I serve the god Oxir, and ensure that any threats to him are dealt with appropriately.
Oxir. And he reaches into his shirt and he pulls out the clerical symbol for Oxir and
Oh,
hangs
wow.
it on his neck.
Okay.
I would say the gods put us together. You coming through my woods and all. So there's some trouble brewing. I know you've probably already had breakfast, but you couldn't oppose a piece of cake and some coffee with an old man, would you?
Yeah, no, I don't know if Brise probably trusts him, right? He's definitely got
Let's give you an intuition roll. Let's see what your gut feeling is.
76.
Um, he is probably a hard-headed old fool, but he definitely means well.
Right. Okay. I say, sure. I'm in no rush. I'll, dismount and tie my horse to anywhere. Seems good.
Anywhere, you just tie it to the horse.
Somewhere, I'm like, look at him, like anywhere, for my horse to.
Is your beard sturdy? I want to tie my horse.
Are you sturdy?
Exactly.
Anywhere seems appropriate because Max has no idea where he would tie a horse in this situation. So I'm going to let Brise
a
figure
tree, you know.
out a tree. I
Seriously,
know which tree. There's a
all the
lot of
trees. You really like this horse. You tie it to all the trees. That's what you do. So yeah, you go in with him. It's a relatively small cottage. Um, you walk in. There is no question that this man at one time was an adventurer.
Ooh.
Um, that there is this beautiful set of 3 pearl arrows. Maybe I should say pearly, right? You don't know that they're made of pearl, but they sure look like pearl all the way through. Even their feathers, even the fletching, seems to be of this pearly material. On the wall, there is a badge that is a badge of service to Iainos, which is, as you recall, it's the desert city far to the east.
Right.
Um, he's basically got it mounted on a plaque. Um, really, just sort of emblems of his travels.
Oh, right.
Um,
Here we go with the what is this guy level 83
yes.
based on
Well,
how
as,
old?
as we as we learned from our well, I guess I don't forget if our audience remembers, we have a mathematical problem in the experience point system in Karandrin, which is based on Rollmaster Second Edition. The long and short of it is this: we play day to day, right? We play what I call continuous style, which is not just episodically when an adventure comes up, but we play every day, skipping some for like healing and things like that sometimes. But generally speaking, we play day to day. And that seems to be a problem in as much as it does allow you to accumulate a lot of experience. And so our calculations show that 2 years of play, basically, maybe 3. I think it's 3 years of play. You'll be level 50 with this play. We don't know exactly what to do about that yet. So we're playing with numbers and so on. We've got some time before that really becomes a problem. Um,
Now,
but
now we can always say that this guy retired, the level 30 or something, and then just like
right,
rest of his lifetime.
or he's level 160.
Or,
And I mean,
or he could look at me and vaporize
yeah, exactly. He has to be careful blinking because he may roll too high and
me.
destroy.
Yeah. And
I
like
could have.
air from his eyes when he blinks.
He's like, oh man, I just had an ear infection. I could have used that to kill Verilag. I'm sorry, I didn't know. The infection is deadly enough. It says it mildly hurts me
Right.
anyway. So, he notices you noticing the things. He's like, pretty little things, aren't they? And
Indeed.
he the place just is filled with the smell of coffee. He takes a bread box out, and it's this heavily frosted like cake. You're just like, he has got a sweet tooth. And he cuts a couple of big slabs off and puts them on a pan. And he just sort of holds them over the fire to warm. Scoots you off some. Um, and so basically what he tells you is um, that he is a cleric of Oxir, long retired. Um, um, he settled here basically as a symbol of dwarven pride, and this is our land.
Mhm.
You stole from us, and the goblins stole from us, and I'm a symbol here to remind you that this is our land. Um, doesn't exactly hate the goblins, but not for who they are, but for what they've done.
Right. Right.
Um, And so hates them for historical reasons, not for racial reasons, you might say. Um, so he tells you that he noticed some odd things going on, and when he was visiting a temple, saw some shenanigans, followed some people here and there as best he could. This was about 18 months ago, and essentially pieced together there was a cult going on, some of which is not surprisingly infiltrated the temples. It's one of the first things they try to do, so that they have access to spell libraries.
Right.
And you're kind of like, yeah, I know what you're
Mm.
talking about, because I know that's where a lot of the tomes that my cult got, they basically would borrow them under the auspices of this cleric needs them, wants to
Right.
study something, and then he would keep them for 2 weeks or so that a
Right.
member could learn a spell.
Right.
So he said, and then he pieced together some of who was involved and so on. But then he saw evidence as he was investigating that there's a second element in play. So essentially, um, there is a cult of some Iron Empress. He assumed it's some unknown god or new god, or new power that has expressed itself, maybe for some foreign land, and it's trying to get a foothold. But later, the head of the brothels, one of the main brothel
Mm. Yeah.
owners, Brashla,
Yeah.
heard about it, infiltrated, expressed his interest in it,
Right.
and is trying to work it such that he will become the leader, and the various prosperous people then he will start initiating rites that will send them to his brothels.
Hey.
And so that is, he will sort of guarantee service. He
Right.
would get guaranteed income, but he's not yet
The
in
Iron Heart Empress.
the Iron Hard Empress. Wow.
That's what he's gonna rename the.
Wow. That is,
That's what he's gonna call his brothel. It's like,
you know,
the cult is.
maybe you can come over here to my brothel and have some hot cult.
Oh.
No? Is that too far?
Oh. Well,
So,
continue. So,
um, right now, the leadership rests um, in the hands of some local winemaker. That's not really true. Uh, there's someone behind the scenes helping her. I only have the name Ordia, Ordia, who seems really to be the brains behind her. But there is no Ordia in town. I borrowed the tax records and I went through the whole tax record. There is no one named Ordia in town. In fact, in the county. So I assume it's a fake name.
right.
Mia Grawl may be um, tough and a pain in the ass, but she's also very thorough. It's got to be a fake name, and who Ordia is, I don't know. And as a dwarf, there's no way I'm going to get to the answers. Brashla, though, is getting impatient. And he is looking, he's just ordered, I have from a source, a set of robes to make them appear as clerics of Astalon, who, for our audience, that is the queen of the pantheon. Astalon is the god of rulers. She is sort of the Zeus figure. She's the god of justice and that sort of thing. So, my guess is he's ordering 6 or 8 of these robes. He's going to put his thugs in it,
Mm.
and they're going to butcher those parts of the cult that aren't
Yeah.
on his side.
Mm.
Now, hey, maybe that's a good thing, but um, it depends really on who's behind the actual power of the cult.
Right.
They meet at Anleb's house, and it has some pretty significant magical defenses on it, and no member that I've examined has those abilities. So that leaves us a connection in one of the temples that put those on here, or the power itself put them on there.
Interesting. Hmm. Well, I info there. I tell him that kind of corroborate, his story as best I can, what I know. I will bring up that I know that Ichar, one of the uh, what do we call it? I keep forgetting his title. Right,
So he's
get
the captain. He's the captain of the second shift of the gate.
shift.
He's one of the captains at the front gate.
One of the captains of the front gate at Mughal's Keep is a prominent member in the cult as well, if not more of Mughal's staff.
I had heard the name and about his reputation.
Mhm.
You should know that he and Brashla are very good friends,
Mm.
which is not surprising given
That's
what a good customer Ichar is.
That's an image I didn't want to put in my head, but okay, it's there now.
That's right.
Um, so I also mentioned that I've encountered, the Iron Empress research, and I know that some of her temples, old temples in the valleys around here, still have some power to them. And I myself have been approached by her in my dreams, and I've been able to reject those offers she makes to me, but definitely seems like this being has some power. So if the cult is connected to her, you may have yeah, it may indeed be channeling her power through that.
So you're saying it's an old god that we're dealing with?
Yes, any 5,000 years ago at least. There's a lot of iconography of her and some of the other gods of that pantheon in the valley west of here.
No, I think it's east of here.
East. You're right. It is east. Sorry. I tell him about the pantheon. The three birds typically seem to be in opposition to the empress.
There are bird statues like the ones you described in this valley.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can't be surprised. And I've seen a place for a fourth, but that one's always torn down.
Oh, interesting.
He takes out a big journal and opens it up, and he's just made notes and so on. And so he writes in notes about HR and stuff. He's got like diagrams,
His notes are better than mine.
Well, they're on Google Docs, so you can find them.
His magic Google Docs.
It's so funny. I should spend all my time typing up Oshekra's notes for you on Google Docs, and you
Yeah.
go and read them, and that would be really funny.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Um, so so he shows you like names that he's acquired,
Yeah.
and he says, you can see how they're hitting particular resources and um, particular wealthy people and so on. Clearly these people are funders, right? They don't really have any, and the cult doesn't really need wine, right? It's nice, it's a luxury, but she's wealthy.
Right.
So they can fund things like ritual items, and they can fund ceremonial items, just like, oh, we need a nice banner to hang, in our ceremonial room. Not unlike things that temples have inside them. Um, um, Here, they've got a farrier who sells horses, right? Probably in case any sort of quick escape is needed, but also some wealth there. Um, you know, Here they've got one of the better blacksmiths on board, possibly to arm themselves. Not that Brashla can't find those to smuggle in. Um,
Right. It's I mentioned that it's almost difficult to work against this cult without seeming like we're disrupting the peace in Mirgral's domain. It's been so many people involved.
well, you get 8 or 10 wealthy people involved in a cult or involved in anything, it becomes a lot harder to change because of their influence.
Right.
My two biggest worries is that we don't know who Ordia is, purportedly female, and I'm worried about Anleb's connection to Miagral herself.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I think they were good friends.
And I'm worried about Brashla's tendency toward violence.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Brashler were to act, that might end up, bringing the cult to its knees and making it more of a just a small crime like thing rather than actual evil power. But again, that would mean a lot of people die possibly. So it's a, it's a weird thing to feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Been tempted to try to kill Brashla just outright. It's not like his hands were clean before this,
Right.
but he's tough to get to, and it does eliminate the possibility that he'll take care of some of the work for us. But
Mm-hmm.
as you've said, that does leave gullible innocents dead. I'm a dwarf. I have very little social influence in town.
Mm.
And while I'm welcome among the handful of other dwarves that live there, they have not been given access to the cult either.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned to him that was one attempt I would try to disguise myself and have an audience of the cult, but I haven't found a good way to do that. Fortunately, my face is very well known, as you can probably see.
Once I came to figure out who you were while we talked, even the dwarves in town know who you are.
Yeah.
You'll definitely need to be able to change at least your outward garb as quickly as possible when needed.
Hmm.
You're going to have to get used to changing clothes probably literally while running.
Yeah. Mm. And Reese isn't a big fan of that. She's pretty conscious of her appearances. Like, as long as it looks good, that's fine.
That's right. You might try a robe with a hood,
Okay.
and then that can hide everything you're wearing underneath. And if you've got, so you start with that, you see, then you take off the robe and you have whatever your next outfit is underneath. But then, of course, you've got to go for a different robe next time.
Mm.
It might behoove you to start getting your clothes done by someone totally unattached from town. Of course, your first thought is, nope, I have Aldrif.
Right. Yeah. If I need clothes, I go
So I mean, if he can make you, you know, um, some robes, like 3 or 4 different robes, and then you can buy different appearances.
even better. Aldrich can go into the cult and get it for me.
Do you see Quinn's comment?
Her outfit below, which is an identical robe. Oh no! Like in the cartoons, when it's like they only wear one outfit and they go in their closet, it's all just that outfit. It's like,
Yeah,
what am I gonna wear?
yeah. So great.
Uh, yeah, it does sound like we need someone. We need an eye inside the cult. It's the secrets are too well kept.
Well, don't you have one?
Ishar, technically, yeah.
No, no. You're not going to trust Ishar with this kind of
Oh,
shit.
but I don't know who else. Well, I guess I have the one woman, the
The
guard.
halfling.
Oh, he wanted. I completely forgot about him.
I noticed.
I was thinking about him when I first met the dwarf, and then I
Yeah.
just forgot about him through the course of the conversation. I would bring him up, of course. And for our audience and for me, what was his? He has done some this halfling, right? He's done some prodding into the cold, but hasn't actually like gone to their gatherings, right? But he
They've
wants
they've approached him about joining because he's very
right,
prosperous.
right, and he
They may be his first, the first
yeah.
non goblin outreach, but um, so yeah, but you kind of worry about him.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He's almost too eager to do
Right,
it. He's taking it as a lark. He's not taking it seriously enough.
right, right. As
Um,
like adventuring, yeah, he gets to play the adventuring role. So I do bring that up, with the dwarf here. Have we introduced ourselves at the dwarves?
no, we always get involved in the conversations and we skip over names.
Well, I would have introduced myself first
No,
thing.
he would have ignored you.
Okay. Well, then this name, I tell him.
Um, his name is Gabris, Gabbris.
Okay. I tell him about an acquaintance of mine who met at the keep, halfling of some wealth, who was approached by the Colts, uh, and did deny them the first time, right? But he is interested in infiltrating them for the same purpose we're talking about.
I
That's what
followed them on that visit. He had too many men on the ground for me to get up to a window. But well, now you seem a little hesitant to offer him up.
Oh yeah, and then I say he didn't seem like the best candidate for, um, I just like you said, it seemed more in it for the fun of it. Didn't really take the matter seriously. So unless we have a good sit down with him and go over a thorough plan, I don't think he's a good person to try to be our private eye in the cold. His name was Bengar, by the way. Bengar. But I feel like if we, sat him down and went over a game plan, maybe it could work.
Well, I say we have to try. Those robes have been ordered. They'll be done in a week, which means at any point after that, we're on the clock to prevent actual murder. Now, another approach to this would be to disrupt Brashla's operation just so that he feels like he has to take a step back.
True.
So, put your mind to have, for some reason, Brashla's home or businesses raided. Because then he may just rethink his plan. And the more it looks unconnected to the cult, the reason for the raid, the better.
Right.
He may just need time to put his house in order. It might buy us a couple of days. But I will tell you this. There are no magical defenses on any of Brashla's brothels. Save he has high quality locks.
Okay.
Roll for me.
46.
It occurs to you that this would be a very good place to be able to teleport back to.
Okay.
Because if you have news,
Right.
you don't want to have to find this place or, it's probably close to half a day to make it here just because, it'd be 2 hours to the, no, I guess not. I guess it'd be about a quarter of a day. Because it's an hour but you got to make it across town.
Base of the mountain, yeah.
Yeah, still, it's close to half a day to get here. To make it across town and then
do that before I leave. Ask him, permission. What's a good place to teleport him to? This is getting very complicated. I'm trying to keep track of. See, we want to try to, for our audience too, and for me, I'm going to reiterate it. Right, Brashla has a plan in a week or sooner. Right, once he gets these robes to um, basically take control of this cult violently and possibly murder a lot of innocents. Um,
Right. He's going to do a. He's going to fake a temple raid against the cult.
right. Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
So the
That
robes.
I'm like, so he's got the robe, so he's pretending to be Astalon, right? As if.
Right. So give them all robes, make them just look like temple robes,
Hmm.
and then, um, just give them to his goons, his trustiest goons. They come in and just kill people, right?
Hmm.
And deliberately leave other people alive.
Right.
People he thinks that he can persuade, and that's he's like, oh, if they try to stop you, I guess you have to give them a knock on the head or whatever. But try to leave them alive.
Yeah.
But definitely this list of people kill,
Hmm.
and then the people who oppose his leadership, then he takes over. So, um, so it's it's one cult with a power struggle inside of it.
Yeah. Right. And then to try to keep that from happening, try to delay that, want to maybe frame Brashla for something, plant something in his house that kind
Shake
of,
him up,
yeah, shake him up. Yeah.
right? So that his some other something, basically give him a distraction so that he's got to deal with a lot of crap.
Hmm.
I mean, he can't help but think it might have to do with the cult, but it doesn't matter. You can't avoid that.
Right.
So that's
Right.
that's one idea that
He's, yeah.
that
Gabrus
Gabris
product.
that
Yeah.
Gabris had. He's just like, it's an idea he's had, and he hasn't found a way to do it. He's not, you know, even if he could plant the thing, as an example, if he could plant the thing, he has no influence to encourage the raid,
Right.
right? Now it might be something as simple as setting a fire in a cult, in one of the brothels.
Right.
But then you got to know where the women are and the men. You've got to know where they are. They probably sleep at the brothel. Um, but that's you don't have to focus on that plan if you think it's you know
Right. No, yeah, because that's it's complicated, but it's a good idea. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head.
sure.
Yeah.
And then it could be something else too. I mean, it could be do you do something a little more directly toward Brashla? Do you sneak in and take bolts out of his carriage such
Mhm.
that he has a bit of an accident? But that might accelerate his plan. Of course,
Yeah.
any of this might.
It's hard to know. Yeah, how he's going to act.
Um, and it's one of the things I think in Karandrin that I've not emphasized enough, given how different the style of play is from other role playing games. Like in a lot of role playing games, I think it's pretty cut and dry what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, the characters are archetypical, so like they'll react this way when this happens. Yeah.
Well, and also the situations are more cut and dry, right?
Mhm.
Oh, that's a monster. I got to go kill it.
Right.
I'll go kill it. Right here, it's messier. So I guess what I should start telling my players is, and I probably should have done this 30 years ago when I started the style of play, is that doubt is not a bad sign. Uh,
Right. Right.
Doubt is just part of the game.
It's rich. There's a lot. There's a lot here.
Yeah, and you can never know 100% certain, and certainly in that way, it is very realistic to
Mhm.
life. You know, there was a great line from the second episode of Deep Space Nine, um, where one character says to another, they're talking, and the first character says, "Well, we're just a little uncomfortable right now. Getting back to knowing each other, right?"
Right.
And the second character says, "Then I suggest you just get comfortable with your discomfort."
Yeah.
And that's really what you need in Karandrin, definitely. This style of game, broadly speaking, is that not knowing is just part of it,
Mhm.
um, and just be okay with that. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you can't know. But anyway, maybe that's the next article I should write. I got to get two more posted still.
That is a good article, actually. And in that process, I did think of another plan, which I'll run by Cabris here. It's like, what if we found out? Well, if we got our own robes of Astalon and found out the date the raid is happening, and we gather our own forces and then try to stop Brashula's men. Then maybe that would also give us. Then we can do our own raid of the cult. Kind of an interesting idea.
That is crazy clever of you. Look at you
Yeah.
guys. It's really interesting.
Then we can storm the cult ourselves and also stop people from dying, and stop Brashula. So we would need a lot of people, right? But I don't know if he obviously has a lot of experience. He probably knows a lot of people. So. I can't remember which movie. It's a Disney movie. It's like, that idea is crazy enough just to get us all killed. A TV show. I can't remember.
That was really funny. That's really funny. Are you a fan of The Emperor's New Groove?
Yes. It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. Um, he slams his fist on the table. He's like, the gods put us together. I'd be happy to lead the raid.
The only reason I know this sort of thing is because I watch a lot of anime, and this is basic anime plot 101.
That and being unable to determine who's a good guy and a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's the other
Well,
part.
it's either way too obvious or not obvious at all.
That is exactly right. No, you're totally right. Either they're twirling one or more mustaches, and you're like, yes, we get it. Or you're like, wait, I thought that was a good. What is he doing? Now, who is this character? That's how I feel every time I watch anime. It's like, well, this is, as I've told you before, anime is beautiful nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a really beautiful image. I have no idea what's going on. Do you? Does anyone know? No? Okay. I don't think they know. It's not a cultural barrier. It's a cultural choice. You don't even know what's going on.
Choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, likes the idea.
I've not been able to find out when the next meeting of the cult is.
Mm-hmm.
That will have to be my task. Can you get us the robes?
I know a guy. Honestly, yeah, Mike Aldrich would probably be pretty excited to be in on this. I wonder how much influence he has to pursue his own stuff at the keep. I can ask him, I guess.
I mean, he's been kept pretty busy. You know, when there's a lull, there's a lull. You know what I mean? And is your sense. And so, like, you know, in your talks, he's like, we might have an event coming up, right? And so all the ladies who are going to attend, they want new dresses. And so we work, sometimes through the night and try to get things done and have time for fittings and all that. When that's not going on, it's individual requests, and sometimes that can be too many, but, and otherwise it's just repairs. And repairs usually come in every day, but they don't take very long. And so,
so yeah, it sounds like I'll just go and ask him and get.
Yeah.
He'll have the best answer for me,
Right.
So I say, well, I know someone, a tailor that I trust, and how many do you think? Do you think we'll need? How many will we be up against?
he says, I still have my robe from my traveling days.
Mm.
Um, and while it won't match the coloring, Aslan's colors, I don't think one being out of place will be amiss. You seem that you're comfortable with magic. Likewise, this robe has some features that I would rather have in battle than not.
Right.
Um, I will travel to Donegal tomorrow. I don't want to use any thugs from this area.
Right.
And maybe I'll see if there are any adventurers in town up for some fun. I should have enough coin to cover it. Do you want to offer him any money to
Um, yeah,
offset?
sure. Yeah, yeah. I just thought about something. I'll do this for. I'll I'll offer him, and if you need any funding as well, I have plenty to spare. Just let me know what you need.
I think I've got on hand about 100 gold, but I wouldn't mind having another 100.
Yeah, I say absolutely. Offer him that now. Just pull it out of my.
All right.
Okay. I just thought Hanleb's a good friend of Miagral. It'd be important. I don't want to be seen like raiding this house. Like I should probably keep it secret. I wouldn't. You know, and HR. I'm probably going to upset someone at the keep. If not Miagral herself by doing this. Um,
Well, but does it matter if they know it's you?
Whole story, right? So
Well, if they don't know it's you, it doesn't matter if they're upset.
exactly. And if they don't know it's me, that's
Oh, and your face pays it. Your face changing potion should work long enough for combat.
yeah, just down right before take the
Yeah.
bullet.
And maybe you get a veil or something,
Yeah,
and I mean, it'll be a penalty to seeing, but there's nothing you can do about that. Um, so, and the other thing is, maybe you don't participate. Maybe you sit on the sidelines, hidden, and just cast spells and shoot arrows.
true. That's true. Yeah,
You know, um,
throw bolas, cast a
yeah.
spell.
Problem is, you got to go fetch your bola after you throw it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And my bola summoning. Need to get another one of those.
yeah.
Really good.
Um, all right. Well, he says, um, when should we speak again? It probably won't be till evening tomorrow that I have any news for you.
Okay. Yeah, we can. So what day is it today? The 6th. We could say on the 28th. Just take 2 days. I can meet you here on the afternoon, same time. This kind of time of day.
Why don't we do sundown? That'll give me another day to get things done. Um,
Sundown on the 28th. Then.
at Gabris's, he says, if I have to leave messages for you at Miagral's, um, he says he's just going to refer to himself as the woodsman,
Okay.
um, just to keep things. Now you probably won't be able to return messages because no messenger is going to come out here,
Right.
and you don't want him connected
Right.
with. Um, so, um, um, yeah. So let's just do a quick few rolls and get you back to the keep. and we'll
So I
call you.
really quickly asked Gabrus,
Yeah,
like, so if I memorize a spot, where do you prefer me teleporting
right,
in?
right, right, right. Not there. There's a very memorable large bush. It's almost ornamental that grows. He's clearly cultivated it. It probably grows wild, but he's pruning it and keeping it creeping on. Sort of like pampas grass, you know. You know what
Yeah.
that is? Yeah, and a hardier form that can take the cold. And he says that I keep the animals away from that, and I would say my wood chopping pile, but that's no place to teleport to with standing on top of firewood.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this will do nicely.
so you memorize it until you're comfortable with it. How many places do you have memorized? Remember, there's kind of a limit.
I believe I already have 7, so let's see if I can kind of knock one out and add another one. So we probably don't need Breneloth anymore.
Yeah.
Jordan Forge of Breneloth. I'm going to get rid of those and write down this one here. Gabrus. I keep want to switch the B and the A, call him Bagris. I'm like, that's not
That's funny.
Gabrus.
The name, what is it? The name Baggins will no longer be safe. You must go by the name Gabbins.
Gabbins.
Well,
Bone
Dan,
Gabbins.
way to go, Dan Golf. What a brilliant idea. I'm going to roll for your travels.
All right. Just memorize this on 4, 5, 6.
All right, so it is noon when you get back to the keep, and we'll start with you just riding into the keep
All right.
next time. So, which will be next Thursday, gang. We're sorry about not the website not getting updated. We've hit update several times, and it's not taking. And we don't. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna do our best to get that fixed and get those back up. And I, of course, have got to get some more articles up for people to read. Got to do this, and then take my big mug to a smaller thing. So, well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us and for watching. As always, we appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday, February 9th. If you think we're doing a great job, feel free to hop to Donor Box and send us a little love. We always appreciate that. If you need to see more of Max, and who doesn't, then check out his own YouTube channel where he discusses the role of music in video games. Thanks as always to Brise, for Brise's art by Elliot Dunovitz. You can find more of their work at artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a novel called A Shore Too Far that I'm pretty proud of, and I hope you enjoy it as well. And next episode will be an 80. So we'll be
Hat.
wearing hats. We'll be wearing hats. Did you find your hat, Max?
I did. It was under a bunch of boxes in the
Oh
closet,
no, you
but I got it.
better
So
fluff that thing out. But thanks everybody. Max, say goodbye to the lovely people.
yeah, I hope you enjoyed. It was interesting. A lot of exposition, a lot of building up some hopefully exciting stuff next time. So yeah, stay tuned for that and stay warm. See y'all next week.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.